Go off turn number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, we are green flag racing here at Seekonk.
Field completes lap number 1, and it's Matt Hirschman up on the outside, edging out ahead of Kobe, looking to get the early stranglehold at the top of the field as they roll down into turn number 3.
The car to keep your eyes on is the purple and yellow number 85 machine of Ronnie Silk. Trouble now, smoke erupts from beneath one of the automobiles. Smoke on the racetrack comes from car number 58. With only 2 circuits in, it is the Goodale machine, the gaff car. Heavy smoke coming off the rear of the automobile, but that's not the only story, as it looks like car number 64, the Robbie Summers Steve LeMay prepared car, has a flat left front tire.
And it looks like there was some contact made deep in the pack as the smoke coming from Goodale's machine is the right rear Nerf bar rubbing up against the tire.
And that is a result, Kevin, of the fact that the 64 made contact. The left front tire, of course, going down on that race car as well. So the laps do count under caution. You can see the sheet metal and what we refer to as the rub rail rubbing on the right rear of car number 58. It was Goodale who literally became a household name after a race called the Battle of the Beach, originated during the month of February a couple years back in Florida. From then on, his confidence has been up. He secured victories at the Stafford Motor Speedway, but that is just the beginning. Car number 58 is considered one of the top dogs to beat in this series.
Now, one of the interesting things here at Seekonk versus a lot of the other speedways, the pit area is on the outside of the track.
That's right. There's no pit road. There's no safety net for these individuals. And actually, behind stage, it actually looks like this. There is literally a row in the pit area with a small, about a 4-foot wall, and the cars and the teams set up temporary pit stalls in that location. They come off the racetrack, make their adjustments, their tire changes, then they have to go behind and come back out in turn number 3. So this is kind of the traditional way. In the old days, short track racing was done. Most race facilities did not have a modern day pit road.
No, but it makes it difficult to try to stay on the lead lap here. Even as quickly as you can be, even under caution, the laps they're turning behind the Bristol Toyota Pace truck, it's still, chances are you're going to lose at least a lap.
You know, while the field is doubling up and ready to go back to green flag racing, we want to talk a little bit about a quick comparison and the tri-track event paying $10,000 to win. Different strategy, cautions, you tell the story.
The cautions don't count, so if you need to change a tire, you've got a couple of minutes versus the very few seconds you have. Field thunders off of road, turn number 4. Matt Hirschman brings the field down. Kobe up on the outside as they roll off of 2. They race down into 3, side by side.
There's no question about it. Another mover and shaker is getting hooked up in the outside, and that is car number 99. That's the S&S paving machine of Chase Dowling. Ronnie Silk puts the pedal to the metal. He sneaks back into the 3rd spot. Challenge is on. They're doubled up 2 by 2 as they head further back. All of a sudden, Lutz is making his presence known with car number 46. Lutz has had some brilliant runs this season, and he is to the inside. The movers and shakers in this event is Lutz. He clicked off the quickest lap of the event so far, and that is just the beginning. A 12.359.
Field thundering down off of turn number 2, starting to stretch themselves out around the 3rd mile, but it's still nose to tail for the lead as Doug Kobe continues to hound Matt Hirschman. Takes a look down to the inside, gets a good run down at the 3 and 4. They're wheel to wheel at the top of the field.
As they work their magic off turn number 4, Doug Kobe puts the Mayhew tool machine just as precise as a Mayhew tool car is. It works its magic on the bottom. Lead change, 14 laps in and counting. Doug Kobe becomes the brand new leader of the event. Who's the tail that wags the dog now? it is Lutz who's in the third spot. Lutz is still turning on the quickest laps of this event. Keep your eyes on Lutz with that number 46 car. Red and black machine that currently sets in the third spot.
Keep your eyes a little deeper in the pack. A couple of drivers fighting their time, getting some laps in. As we've got a battle for second, Lutz goes down to the inside. Hirschman gets caught up top. Hirschman drops back to third. Lutz up into the number 2 spot.
Well, it was like a Tom and Jerry cartoon, a little cat and mouse action. And all of a sudden, Lutz finds himself at the home in second. Goodale comes back out of the paddock area with car number 58. Meanwhile, Ronnie Silk sees the door open. He makes the bid down underneath Hirschman. There's no question about it, Kevin. Hirschman has been able to try to hold the car down, but that car is not working that well on the bottom. It wants to drift up the racetrack, and that's where the excitement is. Defending race winner is already up to the top 5. That is the Phoenix machine prepared by Ryan Stone for Justin Bonsignor.
And Justin's been able to quietly work himself up through the field, finds himself on the back bumper of the 85 of Ronnie Silk. Meanwhile, behind them, the 16 takes a look down to the inside. Timmy Solomito finds himself 6th in the running order, and he's got Chris Pasteryak glued to his rear bumper.
There's no question about it. Nisella is in there. 4 cars contending for the same airspace. Back to the front of the field, the leader still remains Doug Colby. 24 laps and counting. Lutz is in second. Matt Hirschman is third. Ronnie Silk sets in fourth. Justin Bonsignor rounds out the top 5. Timmy Solomito in the 6th spot, another former race winner. Further back in the field, it's single file racing, but the big question is for how long? Because already, and that's what makes short track racing great, the leaders are coming up on heavy lap traffic, Kevin.
Melissa Fifield already -1 to the leaders as they close, as Colby closes in on the 33 of Wade Cole. Cole about to go a lap down. Colby takes a look to the outside and squeezes on through turns 1 and 2. A little bit of struggle as Lutz closes the gap just a little bit.
There's no question about it. There is heavy lap traffic in front of the leaders. Doug Colby started the first event of the season. They had a mechanical problem with the rear end with the race car. He had to start dead last. Came through the field like the old hot knife through butter and won the first event. If you see Doug Colby walking around in the paddock area with his helmet and driver's suit bag, you'll see that he literally has a bunch of Hoosier neck bands that he has secured from each and every victory that he has had on the Whelen Modified Tour. 5-time championship runs don't come easy, but for Doug Colby, they're a way of life in car number 2.
Every time he seems to get some clean ground in front of him, he's able to put some breathing room between he and Lutz, and those two in a breakaway. A little further back, keep your eyes on the Phoenix Communications machine of Justin Bonsignor. He is closed up on the back bumper of the Stewart Automotive 85 of Ron Silk and starting to put some heavy pressure on that machine.
There's no question about it. They work their magic through traffic. Remember, Ronnie Silk and Bonsignor have also been to victory lane. Remember, it has been a while since Timmy Solomito, with car number 16, has come back to the Seekonk Speedway. He was a big winner here in a Whelen Modified Tour event, but now he's looking like he is more than a contender. And the Sly Zabin machine is hooked up and dialed in.
You know, one of these is the things you look at. You saw Matt Hirschman drop back just a little bit. They don't set up the car for the first 50 laps. They set up the car for the last 50 laps. And he is biding his time, it appears, to get ready for that run. Meanwhile, here comes Bonsignor down to the inside of Silk off of turn number 4.
There's no question about it. He makes a bid for it, closer than most people park, but it doesn't happen. As they work their magic down the back straightaway, Lutz goes underneath a lapped automobile. That is the Melissa Fifield race car. And here comes Matt Hirschman. Who's the tail that wags the dog there? It is car number 85 for Ronnie Silk. Bonsignor is there, and now we've got, well, a 3 musketeer battle. between the number 85 of Ronnie Silk, Monsignor, and the number 16 machine that is driven by Tim Salamito.
One of the tracks that Timmy likes to run on. It suits his driving style. The luck factor has been non-existent the last several times they visited here. Tonight, early on, biding his time, looking good, trying to close in on the 51 in that battle for fifth.
You know, we talk about tire management and how important it is when you're running on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Remember, Matt Hirschman does not run a lot of events on the Whelen Modified Tour, but he is as smooth as glass. He is holding off all the pressure being applied by Ronnie Silk. Monsignor is there. Little smooch to the back bumper. No love affair there as they continue to run nose to tail down the back straightaway.
Take a look ahead of your leader, Doug Colby, closing in on the 45 of Catalano to put him -1. But in front of them, a whole gaggle of machines trying to hold up your leader. And right in front of your leader, Putnam in the 77. Another car involved in that. That's the 25 machine of Calvin Carroll. They get together. We are slowed up for the second time.
We have the second caution of the event, 45 laps in this 150-lap event for the Whelen Modified Tour. Hey, if you're enjoying this evening's presentation, you'll want to be back here at the Seekonk Speedway for the Tri-Track Open Modified Series at NEMA Boston Louis. This $10,000 to win event is like no other. Previous winners include Ronnie Silk, Matt Hirschman, Doug Colby, 3 times the winner, along with Richard Savory, Tommy Barrett Jr., Todd Amarumo, Chris Pastriak, Vinny Anarumo, Donnie Leah, and more. Open Wheel Wednesday is one of the best stops for the excitement of modified racing, with the tour-type modifieds coming here to the Seekonk Speedway for an event paying $10,000 to win with the NEMA Midgets. We talked about it earlier, that what makes this so unique is the fact that it brings the best, a hodgepodge of tour drivers, drivers from upstate New York, from Long Island, from weekly racing series divisions. They're all here for the big money and the enthusiasm, and this is the event that you can't afford to miss. And remember that date now. We want to make sure that you remember Wednesday, June 26th. Talk about that father and son combination.
You know, Vinny Anarumo started his career back in the early 70s here at Seekonk and competed, worked himself up, picked up 6 championships in his career. The one thing he always wanted was a modified win. He competed with them, but had yet to visit Victory Lane in a modified. Well, along came the Valente Modified Racing Series. He was able to get himself a top machine. Finally got that first win right here at Seekonk. He backed that up just about a month later with $10,000 in his pocket, winning that race. Several years later, Todd took over the duties, and Todd did just the same thing. Picked up his first win, followed it up with the Open Wheel Wednesday 10 grand.
Well, it is definitely a Cinderella story. There's no question about it. And of all the years that I've been doing this, which is now 46, I never remember a father and son combination that was able to do this type of a thing and do it at a short track like the Seekonk Speedway.
Well, you know, they grew up here. They know, Vinny and Todd know this track as well as anybody with their history here. And they were able to use that expertise to find themselves holding the checkered flag at the end of that one. But it was more of a, you know, I don't know if Vinny was happier the day he won or the day his son won. Either way, you know, it was a grand time at the Anarumo facility.
Be here for more history in the making for the $10,000 to win Tri-Track event on Wednesday, June 26th, rain date the 27th. Let's set the field for you. Currently, here's how they stand. Doug Colby is currently the leader of the event. Craig Lutz has worked his magic to move into second. Matt Hirschman setting in third. Ronnie Silk is fourth. Justin Bonsignor will round out the top 5. Unofficially, Timmy Salamino is 6th. Chris Pastriak is 7th. Anthony Nocella is 8th. Matt Swanson is 9th. And Max Zachem rounds out the top 10. Just out of the top 10 is Patrick Emmerling, Woody Pitcat, Tommy Catalano, Andrew Krause, and Jeff Rocco. That's currently how they stand with 52 laps and counting in this Seekonk Speedway 150-lap event. for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. 20 minutes past the top of the hour. We're back to racing. 2 leaders so far in 52 circuits. Kevin, let's see what's going to happen as we fire them up one more time.
Thunder in the Valley down into turn number 1. Lutz try to hang on the outside as Doug Colby leads the charge down into turn number 3.
Lutz runs high, wide, and handsome off the outside lane. Meanwhile, we've got a car down low. One of the Catalano cars is involved in the mix-up. Back up front, here is the challenge, and the outside lane is looking racy as they make their presence known. Ronnie Silk is trying to work over Matt Hirschman. Monsignor sees some daylight from the bottom. The Phoenix communication car is trying to communicate and get the message to get to the front of the field. Chris Pastriak also running the inside lane. Hirschman slips up the racetrack.
A good run by Bonsignor, saw an opening and charged right through it. Finds himself up on his 3rd place, and look who comes with him. It's Chris Pastriak.
Chris Pastriak has won before here in tour-type racing. Here comes Ronnie Silk. He slips up the racetrack. They come together like 2 cymbals in an orchestra. Ronnie Silk has just moved in to position number 5 with the purple number 85. Here comes Salamito. We haven't talked much about Matt Swanson, the youngster, but he is looking racy and threading the needle through traffic in the same manner.
Matt Swanson trying to reignite the magic that Old Blue has enjoyed here at Seekonk over the years. The last time that car visited Victory Lane here was with Eric Beers. Swanson trying to do it here tonight has worked himself up into the 8th position.
They work their magic off turn number 4. Clutches margin. The fastest car on the racetrack currently is still Doug Colby. 12.304 on the last circuit by. Lutz turned to 12.234 and Justin Bonsignor a 12.393.
Fastest lap continues to be Craig Lutz, who hit that on lap number 14 with a 12.234. They are still running near qualifying speed around this racetrack. Colby closing in again on the back of the field as he thunders off of turn number 4. 64 laps up on the board as we are getting closer to the halfway point.
There's no question about it. Doug Colby is a true champion. And Phil Moran is magical at setting up that race car. Mayhew Tool Company, innovators and leaders in building pry bars and drift pins and chisels for many of the world's largest manufacturers. But right now, they're manufacturing success at the point in this event.
Smooth as silk out in the front of the field is that number 2 of Colby. Hitting his mark. That car is gliding around this 3rd mile as he rolls off of turn number 4. A pair of lap cars getting the single file in front of him as the field has sprung itself out around the 3rd mile. 68 laps complete.
There's no question about it. A little further back in the field, Matt Swanson in the 7th position with Old Blue, car number 3. Anthony Nacella is up to the 8th spot. Timmy Salamito is 9th, and Patrick Emmerling sets in position number 10. Things are starting to get settled in, but Doug Colby is definitely the class of this field. The Lutz machine kind of is a surprise to a lot of folks. During the off-season, during speed weeks at the new Smyrna Speedway, Lutz was showing great potential and talent. Hit at a ton, was forced to pack up early, but he had a winning race car, and that winning combination he's carried with momentum to the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. And what about Chris Pastriak? Car number 75 already worked its way into the top 4. Now Pastriak started this event with the number 75 car in the 14th starting position. So he has picked up a lot of ground on the racetrack.
Well, Ben, you want to talk about a driver that's picked up a lot of ground, and I'm just looking down the lineup. Woody Pitcat, currently running 13th on the field. Now, that's not Woody like. He's usually closer to the front. But when you look at the fact that he started back in the 29th position, he's had a good run early on. We are at the halfway point. 75 down, 75 to go. Kobe continues to dominate this event.
We certainly see that the lap traffic is doing exactly what it's supposed to. On a racetrack of this type, it's supposed to hug the bottom of the racetrack. There's a gaggle of cars coming off turn number 4, being led by Matt Swanson, your 7th place runner, with car number 3. Swanson is being hunted down by Nocella. Salamino has settled back to the bottom of the top 10. And we haven't talked about Patrick Emerling. He won the big super speedway event, and another legendary modified crew chief, a former driver in his own right, champion Jan Leedy, turns the wrenches on the number 07 for Patrick Emerling. Lap 79 just clicked off into Seekonk 150 under the lights here in Seekonk, Mass.
Well, it is time. If you have been saving for the latter half of this race with the long green flag runs that we have had, it is time to wind up that whip. If you have been setting back, letting the tires stay pretty fresh, it's time to burn them up. There's some heavy lap traffic now showing up ahead of Matt Hirschman. That's going to slow up the charge as he tries to close in on the 85 of Ronnie Silk.
No question about it. Meanwhile, there is another great battle going on. He is there, but all of a sudden, it is Justin Bonsignor, the defending race winner, is all over the back bumper of Lutz.
Craig has been trying to hold him off, and all of a sudden, the 51 started to push the go button in that machine, and he is closed right up on the 46 and putting some heavy pressure, but every time he does, there's some lap traffic there.
There's no doubt about it. Lutz continues to try to shake off Bonsignor, kind of like a dog who has fleas, but he can't do it. Bonsignor continues to work his magic, trying to work him over. High, now low. Here comes Bonsignor. Car number 51, going, gone. Justin Bonsignor has moved into the runner-up spot. Heavy traffic up ahead. But will the lap cars work to the advantage of Colby, or will they work to the advantage of our second place runner? Trouble now. We've got car number 33, Wade Cole, going around.
So the caution is out for the 4th time, this time for a single car spin. Wade Cole having the back end snap out from underneath them. We are at lap number 88. Make that 89 as Colby crosses the start-finish line as Cole gets the car straightened out.
It's going to be a quick caution. Remember, race fans, Open Wheel Wednesday is only a few weeks away. Make your plans to see New England's favorite midweek tradition. That's Open Wheel Wednesday for the Tour Type Modifieds, presented by TriTrack, and of course, the Seekonk Speedway, where one individual will go home with $10,000. The Neiman Midgets will be a part of the festivities. Write down the date. Get your tickets now for Wednesday, June 26th, with a rain date of June 27th for the special big event, a New England tradition, $10,000 to win at the Action Track Seekonk Speedway.
You know, it was 2 years ago when Doug Kobe last won this event, the Open Wheel Wednesday event, after winning the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour show. That night, he was able to do something that was a very rare feat here at Seekonk.
Absolutely.
He won 2 races on the same night, but not only 2 races. He went out, won the Boston Louis Midget Memorial, driving for Bertrand Motorsports. Backed that up with the $10,000 to win show. The only driver to do it in the 16-year history.
And let's talk about another factor involved in that. He did it in open wheel race cars, both of them on the same night. That's something to be said as well.
So the talent runs deep with our current leader.
Watch for the pit action that we saw the number 1 machine head back to the paddock area during this caution. 91 laps of 150 now complete. We'll try to set the field for you in just a moment. Leader of the event is Doug Colby. We have only had 2 leaders in 92 circuits. Now, pulling out a line. Watch this situation here. Let's see what's going to happen. The The number 25 of Carroll goes to the pit area. Hagee goes to the pits. Jimmy Blewett is in the pit area as well. And now the number 1 machine for Jeff Rocco, the twin brother of Keith Rocco, comes back out of the racetrack. A look at timing and scoring unofficially. Doug Colby, your leader. Justin Bonsignor is second. Craig Lutz is third. Chris Pastriak is fourth. Ronnie Silk is fifth. Hirschman is sixth. Swanson is seventh. Nacella is shown in eighth. Timmy Salamito is ninth. And Patrick Emmerling rounds out the top 10. Back out of the paddock area. Here they come. They don't want to lose any time or any additional laps. Max Zackham, the 20. Heggie in the 18. Over Ronnie Silk in second with 1 win, 3 top 5s, and 4 top 10s. Back to green. Trouble now.
No,
Caution.
a last-minute change.
And, yes, and we are not sure. There might be debris or something on the racetrack.
So
we have been told unofficially that the reason is that timing and scoring wants to check the lineup. It is crucial that these competitors have earned every bit of space on the racetrack in every position, that they want to make sure that all cars are in the correct positions before they're set to go back to green flag racing. Doug Colby on the inside of Bonsignor. Bonsignor won this event 1 year ago. Colby looking for his 3rd victory in 6 starts in 2019 and looking for his 6th NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour title in the Mayhew Tools machine.
Whelen Engineering lights out around the Speedway, and we're about ready to rock and roll one more time. Colby and Bonsignor at the top of the field, ready to have at it for a 52-lap shootout.
And that's exactly what the old style of short track racing was. 50 laps and counting. They rumble to the line. Bonsignor on the outside. Colby on the inside. They call that forward bite. Doug Colby. But here comes Bonsignor. 2 by 2. Like hornets rattled in a nest. They work their magic back in turn number 2. Leader of the pack still remains Colby. Up the hill goes Bonsignor. All of a sudden challenging. Back to the inside. It is Lutz. And Kevin Pastriak has been right there. He's up to the 4th spot. Then it's side-by-side racing to the bottom of the top 10.
Pastriak having as good of a run as we have seen him have in a long time here at Seekonk in the Dunleavy's truck number 75. Sitting in that number 4 spot, trying to close in and find a way by that 46 machine of Craig Lutz. They roll off of turn number 4, and he's got a mirror full of Ronnie Silk in that purple and yellow number 85.
This is where the spotters are so key. All of a sudden, heading back to the paddock area, 1 car slips off the racetrack. Meanwhile, Matt Hirschman's car is sliding further back in the field. Once a contender, Hirschman is back in the 8th position.
Matt led the opening lap, and from there it has been downhill for the Southampton, Pennsylvania driver. He now finds himself sitting outside the top 8 as he rides around behind the 92 down into turn number 1.
There's no question about it. You look towards the front of the field, and you have to wonder if anybody's been saving anything. Who are the movers and shakers in this event? No question about it. Justin Bonsignor came from the middle of the pack as Bonsignor started towards the middle of the field, worked his magic to get to the front. Ronnie Silk has been there. Pastriak with the 75 car has come from a starting position deep in the field as well, starting in the 14th starting position. But Woody Pitcat, I think, is the gentleman that has gained the most positions. He started 19th. He's coming to the front of the field like the old hot knife through butter. 110 now complete in this event of 150 laps here at the Seekonk Speedway in Seekonk, Massachusetts.
Right now, the only battle on the track side by side is deep in the field. Gary Putnam in the number 77, the Curb Motorsports machine, and the 1 of Jeff Rocco. They were racing side by side. Rocco getting the advantage there. Up front, Kobe again closing in on the back end of the field. 3 car lengths he has between he and Justin Bonsignor, and it's a similar cushion back to the 46 of Craig Lutz.
Certainly is, and the countdown continues to wind down, but Doug Kobe is the class of the field. Last circuit by 12.658. Justin Bonsignor a little bit quicker with a 12.544, and Lutz with a 12.539. Pastriak a 6.21 over Silk with a 7.39. Little further back in the field, there's a good battle going on at the bottom of the top 20. And it is a battle that Emmerling is trying to hold off Pitcat, Dowling, as now Jimmy Beluit is applying the pressure to the 1 car of Jeff Rocco.
All over the back bumper. He got a little crossed up off that second corner the last time. Able to sit there right in front of Gary Putnam, but once again has to try to work himself back up to the back bumper.
Meanwhile, Woody Pitcat continues to try to shake off Chase Dowling. And right there with Chase Dowling, also applying equal pressure, is the number 20 of Max Zackham.
As Zackham back in a quality ride this year, struggling to try to find the speed that he needs here. Up in front of them, Patrick Emmerling slides by Tommy Catalano, picks up another position, and right behind him, the 82 of Woody Pitcat climbing up inside the top 12.
As the door opened, the reservations have been given, but there's no room at the end this time for Catalano. Meanwhile, off the pace, Jeff Rocco with car number 1. The Monster Energy drink machine has run out of energy. Car number 1 limps to the bottom of the racetrack with 1:22 and counting.
Trying to get that car limping back to the pits, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to make it. Not only can he not get to the outside, but he can't even get to the infield out of harm's way. Caution flag is out. 124 up on the board, and it has now become a Saturday night shootout.
It certainly has, Kevin. And car number 1, the Monster Energy drink machine, that car was driven at the start of this season in the first events of the year by the Southern Superstar himself, who will be next Wednesday competing on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. That's Burt Myers. And then Jeff Rocco took over to the ride. They made the grand announcement that the number 1 machine, owned by Harvey, picked up sponsorship from Monster Energy drinks, but not much energy is there as he's being assisted and being pushed back to the pit area. As they cross the stripe this time, 126 laps are now complete. We'll reset the field for you. Leader is Doug Kobe. Justin Bonsignor is second. Craig Lutz is setting in the 3rd spot. Chris Pastriak from 14th is up to 4. Ronnie Silk up to 5. Matt Swanson for 6. Timmy Salamito for 7th. Anthony DeSella for 8. Matt Hirschman for 9th. Andrew Krause for 10. Just out of the top 10, Patrick Emmerling in 11. Woody Pitcat in 12. Max Zackham in 13. And then unofficially, after that, we believe that it is the 99 car of Chase Dowling.
Not many takers for the pits this time, as the opportunity to advance becomes slimmer and slimmer. 127, make it 128.
And the 34 car is the recipient of the free pass, and that car will go around and pick up at the rear of the field. Car number 01, Melissa Fifield. You know, in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, before Miss Melissa Fifield became a regular, there was a great female driver by the name of Renee Dupuy, who was a real contender on the Whelen Modified Tour for several seasons, and then went down south to compete on a limited schedule as well. And Melissa has been a very popular driver, as Renee was among the more popular drivers of her time on the Whelen Modified Tour. Get ready, showtime. Off turn number 4, 129. Back to green. Colby, still the leader of the pack. Off the turn, it's still Colby. Bonsignor digging in. But Lutz isn't giving up. Trouble now. Melissa Fifield heads back to the pits.
Battle for that 4th position as Ron Silk takes a look to the inside of Chris Pastriak. Chris is able to shut the door, and look who comes up right behind the 85. Timmy Salamito, working his way up, finds himself 7th on the field.
You got to give Swanson credit. This kid has shown a lot of potential. Here comes Silk. Silk and Pastriak. They cling and they clang. Off the turn, Ronnie Silk has moved into the 4th position. Silk is up to position number 4 with 15 circuits remaining.
Top 3 have broken away just a little bit to settle it amongst themselves. 14 laps.
Oh! Pastriak's car develops a caffeine twitch. All of a sudden it went from right to left, but what a skilled job that Pastriak did of holding on.
Anthony Nocella putting some heavy pressure on Matt Swanson as they race down into turn number 1. That is a battle for the 7th position. Behind them, here comes the 07 of Patrick Emmerling down underneath Matt Hirschman, and he's got Andrew Kraus following him up on the inside.
There's no question about it. Hirschman is a closer, and he is trying to do that. But meanwhile, as you look at the times, last time by, Colby went a 12.494 and Monsignor a 12.583. In layman's terms, Colby is running away like a rabbit being chased by the dogs.
Less than 10 laps to go in the Seekonk 150. Colby dominating this one, took the lead over on lap 2 and has never looked back.
Only 2 leaders in 141 circuits. Hirschman the first, and then Doug Colby the second. Colby looking for his 3rd win in 6 starts. Pretty impressive average, Kevin.
Yep, and this is a track that he enjoys competing at. Rolls down it to 1 and 2. Wade Cole stays on the inside. Colby now 2 miles away from his 3rd win of 2019.
The clock is ticking. Time is running out, and there is no overtime in this event. This time, when they work their magic and come back to the line, 5 laps to go.
From the drop of the green of practice earlier today to qualifying to 146 laps, there has been nobody that has any answer to try to topple down the deuce. As he leads down into 3 and 4, Doug Colby leads the charge, and there are 3 laps remaining.
3 circuits remaining at this 3rd mile race facility. The Mayhew Phil Moran prepared car is the class of the field here at Seekonk. Off turn number 4, 148 shows up on the scoreboard. In this time, as he comes back off turn number 4, the white flag is out, but there's no surrendering in the quest for Doug Colby. Final time down the back straightaway. Ladies and gentlemen, the Seekonk Speedway 150 is now history, and Doug Colby will take down the win. Justin Bonsignor will finish in 2nd. Craig Lutz will finish in 3rd. Ronnie Silk for 4th. Timmy Salamito for 5. Chris Pastriak unofficially for 6th. Anthony Nocella for 7th. Finishing in 8th, great run for Matt Swanson. 9th position, Patrick Emmerling. Andrew Kraus unofficially in 10th. 11th, Woody Pitcat. Matt Hirschman is 12th. Max Zackham is 13th. Tommy Catalano is 14th. Unofficially in 15th is Blake Barney. J.B. Fortin in 16th. Chase Dowling in 17th. Sammy Ramos in 18th. Jimmy Blewett is 19th. Gary Putnam is 20th. Then it's Timmy Calamito. Then it's Calvin Carroll, Wade Cole, Ken Heggie, Eric Goodale, Jeff Rocco, Melissa Fifield, and Robbie Summers. Well, he's heading down into the winner's circle. Race fans, don't forget, Open Wheel Wednesday, the Tri-Track Open Modified Series, and the NEMA Boston Louis, Wednesday, June 26th, right here at the Seekonk Speedway. And there goes Doug Colby on his victory parade lap around